I see that Meech Home concert got the streets talking. The biggest Meech Home, the streets back. That's what I'm talking about. That's how real niggas come home and get it down.
Yes, Charleston White is correct. I'm a rapper, not a dealer. Be sure to catch my new show, 50 Cent, 50 Ways to Catch a Couple.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You ready? I will buy your masters.
50 Cent is clowning like crazy right now, and Big Meech is catching strays after word leaked that Rick Ross allegedly scammed him out of a jaw-dropping $120 million deal. Ross was out here running his mouth heavy, bragging about blockbuster movies, massive projects, and building a whole empire like he was the boss of Hollywood. But when it came time to actually deliver, Meech got straight played. No money, no projects, no empire, just empty promises that vanished into thin air.
So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino. There's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it.
Now Meech is left standing in the middle of it all, looking like he got hustled, while 50 is roasting him into a worldwide punchline. It's gotten so wild that fans are even saying the only way this beef ends is if Meech literally steps into a boxing ring and throws hands with 50. Can you picture that clash? It'd be chaos. But let's rewind and break down how this whole messy saga really began. After Big Meech walked away from the streets, he thought his comeback was already secured. Big bags, Hollywood deals, and his story finally getting told the right way. That's when Rick Ross came sliding in, flashing cash and talking slick about a so-called $120 million film empire. He promised movies, blockbusters, and a list of dream projects that sounded like history in the making. It looked like Meech was finally about to cash in on his legendary name. But here's the ugly truth. Rick Ross never delivered a single thing. Instead, he flipped the whole play, using Meech's legacy like a cheap stage prop just to flex in his endless war with 50 Cent. And while Ross was out here dangling fake movie dreams and chasing clout, it was 50 who actually put his money where his mouth was and backed up his talk. 50 Cent is the one who put up real money for the BMF show, paid out of pocket for Lil Meech's acting classes, and gave him a legit platform to shine on screen. Meanwhile, Rick Ross turned out to be nothing but empty promises and free publicity off Meech's legendary name.
Okay, you understand that?
Can I call my mom or somebody, please?
We'll do that after.
Okay.
All right, just turn around for me, be cooperative. Everything just video and audio surveillance. Plus, I'm on body cam. You understand that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
The difference couldn't be louder. One man actually built something. The other was just bluffing with smoke and mirrors. And it's not just 50 saying it either. Even people from Meech's own inner circle are confirming the same thing. Word on the street is Big Meech is furious, broke, and finally waking up to the fact that Ross only attached himself to him as a way to get under 50's skin. That's the ultimate humiliation. Meech planned to level up, but now he's stuck looking like a pawn in somebody else's war. But here's the real kicker. Those broken promises were only the warm-up. The real chaos exploded once Meech's own son got caught on camera, chilling with Ross at the club. Picture this. Just days after leaked texts surfaced online allegedly showing Lil Meech saying F Ross, suddenly he's right there in the club shoulder to shoulder with him. Like, how does that even make sense? Cameras flashing, red lights glowing, and there's Ross and Lil Meech whispering, posing, and cheesing for the pics while the whole world watched in disbelief. Like nothing ever went down, Lil Meech was spotted side by side with Ross, and fans lost their minds. People were questioning loyalty, calling the whole thing staged, and even wondering if Lil Meech was secretly playing both sides. And of course, 50 Cent wasn't about to let that moment slide. He jumped online instantly, throwing shade the way only 50 can. His savage joke? He said Ross told Lil Meech to drop his dad's address so he could send over some free Wingstop wings. Imagine that. 50 taking messy family drama and flipping it into a fast food punchline for the world to laugh at. But here's the thing.
Do I feel bad for Lil Meech? I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the f I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too. Get what you asking for my sympathy for, and you be alright.
That Wingstop line wasn't just a joke, it was a warning shot. 50 was basically saying Ross wasn't feeding Meech real opportunities. He was just tossing scraps like leftovers. And if you thought that was cold, wait until you hear the bombshell 50 dropped about Lil Meech behind the scenes. Out of nowhere, he posted and then deleted a wild claim that he personally had to send Lil Meech to rehab. According to 50, Meech was showing up on set lit out of his mind, barely able to function. He even said that during a weapons test, Lil Meech couldn't keep it together and ended up throwing up on the spot. And to make it even crazier, they allegedly found whippets in his truck. 50 admitted he didn't even know what whippets were, said he had to Google it himself. He painted the picture of him stepping up like the responsible big bro, trying to keep Lil Meech on track, while his own father was supposedly cheering on those same reckless habits. And if that wasn't already enough proof of the chaos, let's not forget Lil Meech even got himself arrested at an airport. Like seriously, how many red flags can you stack up before it's clear everything is spinning off the rails? So when 50 put that story out, people were shook. The conversation flipped instantly. Suddenly, instead of seeing him as just trolling, fans started asking if 50 actually saved Lil Meech's whole career from collapsing before it even really began. And here's the million-dollar question. If 50 really kept Lil Meech from spiraling, then why on earth is Meech siding with Rick Ross of all people right now?
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This shit gonna be special.
Epic.
Get your tickets right now.
I'm back.
That's when the drama hit another level, because another voice jumped in, and he didn't hold back one bit. Michael Rainey Jr., the face everybody knows as Tariq from Power, hopped on live and went full savage mode. A fan threw him a direct question. Did he feel bad for Lil Meech? And instead of sugarcoating or playing it neutral, Rainey looked straight into the camera and gave his raw, unfiltered take. That live clip spread like wildfire. Reposts, shares, blogs, everyone talking. And of course, 50 Cent couldn't resist jumping in. He instantly reposted the video on his own page with one of his signature laughing captions, making it crystal clear he was 100% backing his power star. It was 50 doubling down on the narrative that Lil Meech was soft, ungrateful, and quickly losing respect from the entire G-Unit and Power family circle. The timing couldn't have been worse for Lil Meech. It looked like doors were slamming shut and all that industry buzz was slipping right through his fingers. But here's the part people forget. This tension didn't just appear out of thin air. It had been bubbling since Big Meech's so-called Welcome Home concert disaster. The streets were hyped for an epic night. Rap heavyweights, fireworks, history in the making. But instead of locking in with 50, the man who literally turned his life into a TV empire, Meech leaned on Rick Ross to push the show. And that move backfired instantly. The concert never even happened. For 50, that was the breaking point. He went nuclear, accusing Meech of cutting shady deals with the feds and then taking the beef straight to the internet with non-stop shots. Meme after meme, post after post, the same fans who once crowned Meech a street legend suddenly started questioning everything about his name and his alliance with Ross. It was like throwing gasoline straight on an already burning fire.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me.
The whole thing made Meech look like he sold out loyalty just to chase clout. And 50 pushed that narrative so hard online that people started treating it like gospel. What should have been Meech's epic comeback moment flipped into the exact point where fans stopped riding for him. And that's when Meech finally snapped. He clapped back loud, posting a throwback pic of himself with 50. But this time, he slapped a giant rat emoji right across 50's face. No guessing games, no subliminals. He straight up called 50 a snitch, and he didn't stop there. Meech doubled down hard, calling 50 an internet gangster, saying all he ever does is troll from behind a phone screen while ducking real smoke. And of course, Rick Ross couldn't resist piling on. He jumped straight into the mix, mocking 50 for being salty about their so-called link-up. Fans saw it as a full-blown tag team move, Ross and Meech standing shoulder to shoulder, poking the bear even harder just to get under 50's skin instead of staying quiet. Ross made sure the world knew he was riding with Meech, laughing right in 50's face like it was all one big joke. But here's the wild twist. Fans couldn't ignore the irony. 50 was the one cutting real checks, paying for Lil Meech's acting classes, giving him a TV platform and a legit shot at Hollywood. Meanwhile, Ross was only offering photo ops, champagne nights, and flashy club moments. Yet Meech looked way more eager to stand with Ross. That confusion set off the next bombshell rumor. Whispers that Meech was actually ready to square up and fight 50 for real after that rat emoji stunt and Ross's non-stop trolling. And trust me, this saga was far from over. The internet went absolutely crazy once people started buzzing about a potential boxing match between 50 Cent and Big Meech himself. Some hyped it up as the ultimate showdown, a heavyweight battle for the ages. But plenty of others called it straight up sad, saying Meech had been reduced to clout chasing and celebrity boxing just to stay relevant in a game that was already slipping away. And then came the twist. Meech threw gasoline on the flames himself. When asked if he'd ever throw hands, he hinted that he'd lace up the gloves if it came down to it, even if he was half joking.
You took a picture with Rick Ross. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
The internet grabbed that clip and ran wild. Blogs, podcasts, gossip shows. Everybody was suddenly debating if this fight could actually happen. The boxing chatter spread like wildfire overnight, and timelines lit up nonstop. But the real explosion came when Wack 100 jumped in with his own theory, and what he dropped shook the entire situation. According to him, this wasn't just about loyalty or rap beef. It was about deep, dangerous secrets. Wack claimed that Meech's own confidant, Tammy Cowan, once told 50 that Meech had secretly worked with federal authorities on other street cases. If that's true, then boxing matches are the least of his worries. That claim hit heavy because it suggested Meech might not have been as loyal to the streets as people always believed. And here's the real kicker. Wack said that's exactly where 50's snitch narrative originally came from. But Wack didn't stop there. He doubled down, stirring things up even more by hinting that Tammy herself had her own motives for flipping on Meech. Some insiders whispered that she felt abandoned after he got locked up. Others claimed she was bitter about him trying to rebuild his empire without her. Either way, it left fans asking the hardest question of all: who was really betraying who? And was Meech's downfall secretly brewing from the inside all along? Most beefs fade out quick, but with Big Meech, every single move sparks a chain reaction. Some folks are flat out calling it betrayal, saying 50 handed Lil Meech the keys, only to watch him flip and cozy up with Rick Ross. Others swear this isn't about betrayal at all. It's about dominance. Because 50 doesn't just play to win. He plays to crush anybody bold enough to step in his lane. For 50, letting Meech slide would make him look weak, and weakness is one thing he refuses to ever show. He's built his whole brand on being the guy who never backs down, no matter how messy it gets. Now picture this tension leaping off Instagram and landing inside a boxing ring. It wouldn't be just celebrity entertainment anymore. It'd be a brutal, no-holds-barred showdown that the whole world would tune in to see. If this fight ever really happened, it wouldn't just be a boxing match, it'd be a culture quake. Fans are already split right down the middle. Some say 50 would demolish Meech in the ring, proving once and for all that he's the last man standing out of this entire feud. Others argue Meech has been cornered for so long that he might finally unleash that bottled-up rage and shock everybody. The internet is going crazy with fantasy matchups, memes of posters, fake fight cards, Even mock pay-per-view flyers with 50 versus Meech headlining like it's the battle of the century. Every debate room, every barbershop, every podcast is buzzing over who would actually walk out the winner. But here's the wild part. This saga has already outgrown fists. It's not just about who can throw the harder punch, it's about who owns the bigger legacy when the dust settles. And that's why this story just keeps getting louder. The final chapter of a feud that spiraled completely out of control. One man is clawing to protect the legacy, while the other looks like he's tearing it all down just for clout and laughs. And with how fast this thing keeps exploding, it's starting to feel less like gossip and more like the next big blow-up just waiting to happen. So now I've got to hear from you. Did Meech really betray the man who handed him everything? Or is 50 pushing the line too far just to prove he's still untouchable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, share this with your crew, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss the next insane twist in this saga. See you on the next one.